Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Talk Time.
Hi, thank you for coming.
Hello, and welcome back to English Talk Time. Hi, everyone. I'm Olivia, and today we're really happy you're here with us.
And I'm Noah. It's great to see you again, and we're glad you're ready to practice with us today.
We're both here as your friendly co-hosts, and we're excited to spend a little time practicing English together today.
We make videos to help you practice real everyday English in a clear, friendly, and supportive way.
Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Today we're going to talk about how to use in and at in everyday English conversations, especially when you're talking about places, time, work, home, and daily life with people around you.
Yes, and we'll start with a natural conversation so you can hear how people really use in and at. Then we'll look at some clear practical examples. After that, we'll share some useful phrases, and later we'll practice together step by step.
So, just relax, listen carefully, and practice with us as we go along.
Are you ready? Let's get started.
So before we really begin today, let me ask you something simple. How are you feeling today, and how is your day going so far?
I'm doing okay, thank you for asking. It's been a normal day for me. A little busy, but not too stressful, so I can't complain.
That sounds nice. A busy day can feel long, but it can also feel good when things are moving and you have something to do.
Yes, exactly. And I also feel a bit tired because I woke up early this morning, but I still feel relaxed now.
Oh, really? Waking up early can be hard, especially when you have a full day ahead of you.
Yes, that's true. But I had a calm morning. I drank some coffee, checked my messages, and just took things slowly.
That sounds like a good start. Those quiet moments in the morning can really help you feel more ready for the day.
I agree. And now I'm just happy to sit here, talk, and practice some English together.
Same here. It's always nice to slow down a little, listen carefully, and enjoy a friendly conversation.
Yes, it makes everything feel easier and more comfortable.
All right then, since we're warmed up and listening comfortably now, shall we start talking about today's topic? All right, let's begin properly now and really talk about using in and at in everyday English conversations.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's start.
So, let me ask you something simple to start. Where are you right now? Are you at home or somewhere else today?
I'm at home right now. I'm sitting on my sofa, and I feel quite comfortable actually.
That sounds nice. Being at home can feel very relaxing, especially when you can sit down and take your time.
Yes, exactly. And earlier this morning, I was in the kitchen making some coffee and a quick breakfast before I started my day.
In the kitchen, that sounds familiar, so you were at home. But in the kitchen for a while, right?
Yes, that's right. I was at home the whole time. But I moved around a bit, first in the kitchen and then in my room to get dressed.
Perfect. That sounds very natural. You can say you were at home, and then more specifically, you were in the kitchen or in your room.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Because at home feels like the general place, and in my room feels more exact.
Exactly. That's a good way to feel it, and people often speak like that without really thinking about it.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, like when someone says, I'm at home, but I'm in the living room right now.
Yes, that's a very natural sentence, and people use it all the time in daily conversations.
Yesterday evening, I was also at home, but I spent most of the time in the kitchen again because I was cooking dinner.
Oh, nice. Cooking at home can be fun, and saying you were in the kitchen cooking dinner sounds very clear.
Well, it was fun at first, but then I realized I forgot something in my room, so I had to go back and forth.
That happens a lot, doesn't it? Moving around at home from one room to another without even noticing.
Yes, and later I was just in my room, watching something and relaxing before going to sleep.
That sounds like a calm evening, and the way you said it feels very natural and easy to understand.
Good. That makes me feel more confident when I talk about simple things like home and daily life.
That's great, because these are the kinds of small, everyday sentences people use all the time. Let's talk about work for a moment, because people often talk about where they are during the day. So where are you usually during working hours?
Most days, I'm at work from the morning until the late afternoon, and I usually arrive around 9 o'clock.
At work, that sounds very natural. And when you're there, where do you usually spend most of your time?
Well, when I'm at work, I'm usually in the office, sitting at my desk and working on my computer.
That sounds clear. So you're at work in general, but more specifically, you're in the office doing your tasks.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes I'm not even in my office because I'm in a meeting with my team.
Oh, really? So you can say you're at work, but in a meeting at that moment?
Yes, that's what I usually say, like, sorry, I'm at work and I'm in a meeting right now.
That sounds very natural, and people understand immediately what you mean.
Last week, for example, I was at work all day, but in the morning I was in a long meeting and in the afternoon I was back in the office.
That's a great example because you're moving between places, but you're still at work the whole time.
Exactly, and sometimes I even say I'm at the office when I want to be a bit more specific.
Yes, that works too, especially when you want to say where you are very clearly.
For example, I might say, I'm at the office today, but I'll work from home tomorrow.
That sounds very natural, and people say things like that all the time.
Sometimes my manager asks where I am, and I just say, I'm at work, because it's simple and fast.
Exactly. Short answers like that are very common in real conversations.
And when I'm studying after work, I'm usually in my room, reading or watching something on my laptop.
That sounds like a busy day. But the way you talk about work and study sounds very clear and natural.
Good. That makes me feel more relaxed when I talk about my daily routine.
Let's talk about being out during the day, because people often talk about places in the city. So where do you usually go when you're not at home or at work?
I spend a lot of time in the city, especially on weekends, because I like walking around, meeting friends, and just enjoying the atmosphere.
In the city, that sounds very natural. And when you're there, what kind of places do you usually stop at?
Well, I'm often at a cafe, sitting with a coffee and talking with friends, or sometimes just reading quietly.
That sounds nice. So you're in the city in general, but at a cafe when you want to say the exact place.
Yes, exactly, and when I travel, I'm usually at the station quite early because I don't like to rush.
At the station. That's a very common thing to say, especially when you're waiting for a train or meeting someone.
Right, and sometimes I message my friends and say, I'm in the city already, and I'm at the station now.
That sounds very clear, and people can easily understand where you are and what you're doing.
Last Saturday, for example, I was in the city all afternoon, walking around and shopping a little.
Oh, really? That sounds like a nice day. And where did you go after that?
Later, I was at a small restaurant near the center, having dinner with some friends.
That's a great example, because you stayed in the city, but you moved from place to place.
Yes. And after dinner, we were just in the city, walking and talking, without any real plan.
That sounds very relaxed, and the way you're using these expressions sounds very natural.
Sometimes I also say I'm at the park, especially when I want to be outside for a bit.
Exactly. People often say that when they're meeting someone or spending time there.
I notice I hear these kinds of sentences a lot, like I'm in the city, or I'm at the cafe.
Yes, you hear them all the time in real conversations.
That's good, because it makes me feel more comfortable talking about places now.
Perfect. That's exactly the feeling we want. Let's talk about events and activities now, because people often talk about where they are when something is happening. So what kind of events do you usually go to?
I don't go out all the time, but sometimes I'm at a party with friends, especially on birthdays or special weekends.
At a party? That sounds very natural. And when you're there, what do you usually do?
Well, when I'm at a party, I'm usually talking with people, having some food, and listening to music.
That sounds fun. And the way you say it feels very real and easy to understand.
Sometimes, I'm also in a class after work because I'm learning something new in the evenings.
Oh, nice. So you can say you're in a class when you're sitting there and taking part.
Yes, exactly. And I often tell my friends, sorry, I can't talk now, I'm in a class.
That sounds very clear, and people immediately know what you mean.
Last month, I was at a concert with some friends, and it was very crowded but exciting.
At a concert, that's a great example, because it's a special event, and people say it like that all the time.
Yes, and during the concert, I was just in the crowd, standing and enjoying the music.
That sounds like a great night, even though it was probably a bit noisy.
It was, but it was fun, and afterward we talked about it for days.
I can imagine those moments stay with you.
At work, I'm also often at meetings, and sometimes they feel very long.
Oh, really? Yes. Many people feel that way.
And when I'm in a meeting, I usually listen carefully and take a few notes.
That sounds very familiar, and the way you describe it sounds very natural.
Good, because events and activities are something I talk about a lot.
Exactly. And these kinds of sentences come up every day in real life. Now, let's look at a few practical examples together so you can clearly hear how people use these words in real situations.
Okay, that sounds helpful, because I want to feel more sure when I speak.
Great. So imagine this first situation. You call a friend, and they ask where you are.
I might say, I'm at home right now, because I'm not outside.
Exactly. And if your friend asks what you're doing, you might add, I'm in the kitchen making dinner.
Oh, I see. So at home gives the big picture, and in the kitchen gives the exact place.
Yes, that sounds very natural in daily speech.
Okay, that feels clear.
Let's try another situation, this time about work. Your coworker sends you a message during the day.
I might reply, I'm at work right now, because I'm working.
Good. And if they ask where exactly you are, you can say, I'm in the office, or I'm in a meeting.
Right. So I stay at work the whole time, but I move between different places.
Exactly. And that's how people usually talk in real conversations.
That makes sense.
Now imagine you're meeting a friend in town, and they message you asking where you are.
I could say, I'm in the city already.
Yes. And if they ask again, you can be more specific and say, I'm at the cafe near the station.
Oh, I like that. It sounds very natural.
It really does, and people use that pattern all the time.
Can we try one more example?
Of course, let's think about an event, like a class or a meeting.
I might say, I'm in a class right now, if I'm sitting there and listening.
Exactly. And later you could say, I'm at a meeting this afternoon, when you talk about your schedule.
So, it depends on how I'm talking about the situation.
Yes, and hearing these examples helps you feel it naturally.
I feel more comfortable already.
Perfect. That's the goal. Let's talk a little about time and daily routines now, because people often talk about where they are in their day, not just where they are physically.
Yes, I talk about time a lot, especially when I explain my routine to friends or coworkers.
So for example, when do you usually start your day?
I usually wake up early in the morning, around 6:30, because I like having some quiet time.
In the morning? That sounds very natural. And what do you usually do at that time?
In the morning, I make coffee, check my phone, and slowly get ready for work.
That sounds calm. And later in the day, when do you usually arrive at work?
I'm usually at work at 9 o'clock, or sometimes a little earlier if I have a meeting.
At 9 o'clock? That's very clear, and people often talk about time like that.
Yes, and at night, I usually feel very tired, so I don't do much.
At night? That sounds very natural. And what do you usually do then?
At night, I watch something simple, maybe read a little, and then go to sleep.
That sounds like a nice routine, and people often describe their evenings that way.
Last week, for example, I was very busy in the morning, but free in the afternoon.
Oh, really? So your day changed as it went on.
Yes, and in July, my routine is very different because I usually take some time off.
In July? That's a very natural way to talk about a longer time.
Exactly, and during that time, I'm often at home more or out with friends.
That sounds nice, and the way you talk about time feels very clear.
Sometimes I worry about saying it wrong, but hearing it like this helps.
That's good, because these are things people say every day without thinking.
Yes, and now it feels easier to talk about my routine.
Perfect. That's exactly what we want. Now let's slow down a little and look at some very clear practical examples so you can really hear how people choose these words naturally when they speak in everyday life.
Okay, that sounds good, because examples help me understand things much more clearly.
Great. So let's start with a simple home situation. Imagine a friend calls you and asks where you are right now.
I would probably say, I'm at home right now because I want to say my general place first.
Exactly. And if your friend then asks what you're doing, you might add, I'm in the living room watching TV and relaxing.
Oh, I see. So I start with at home, and then I move to in the living room when I want to be more specific.
Yes, that's very natural, and people speak like that all the time without thinking about it.
That example feels very clear to me.
Good. Now let's look at a work situation. Imagine it's during the day and a coworker sends you a message.
I might reply, I'm at work right now, so I'll answer later.
Perfect. And if they ask again where you are exactly, you could say, I'm in the office, sitting at my desk.
So I'm still at work, but now I'm saying where I am inside that place.
Exactly. And that's how people usually explain their situation in real conversations.
That makes a lot of sense.
Let's try one more work example, but this time with meetings, because this comes up very often.
Okay, I hear this a lot at my job.
Imagine your phone rings and you can't answer, so later you send a message.
I could write, sorry, I was at a meeting.
Yes. And if you want to explain more, you might say, I was in a meeting with my team talking about a project.
Oh, so at a meeting sounds like the event, and in a meeting feels like I'm inside it at that moment.
Exactly. That's a very natural way to feel it when you speak.
Can we do one more example, just to be sure?
Of course. Imagine you're in town and meeting a friend later.
I might say, I'm in the city already.
And then you could add, I'm at a cafe near the station, waiting for you.
That sounds very natural and easy to understand.
Yes. And hearing these short situations helps your ear get used to real spoken English.
I agree. These examples really help me feel more confident.
Perfect. That's exactly the idea. Now let's slow down for a moment and look at some useful phrases with in that you already heard during our conversation, so you can notice them more clearly and feel comfortable using them yourself.
Yes, I like doing this part, because it helps me remember what I just heard.
Great. So let's start with a very common one, in the city, which people often use when they talk about being inside a city in a general way.
Right, like when I say, I'm in the city today, it sounds very natural.
Exactly. And another one you heard is in the office, which people often use when they want to say where they are inside their workplace.
Yes, that feels clear, like, I'm in the office, working on something.
Good. And we also used in the morning, which people use when they talk about a part of the day in a general sense.
Oh yes, like, I feel better in the morning, or I work in the morning.
Exactly. And another very common one is in a meeting, which people say when they are inside that activity at that moment.
Right. I hear that a lot at work, especially when someone can't answer their phone.
Yes. And one more everyday example is in my bag, which people use when they talk about where something is located.
Like, my keys are in my bag, which feels very simple and natural.
Perfect. And the important thing is that all of these phrases feel very normal in spoken English, because people use them again and again in daily life. Now let's look at some very common phrases with at, which you also heard many times during the conversation, so you can recognize them easily when people speak.
Okay, I'm ready, because I hear these a lot too.
Great, so let's start with at home, which people often use to talk about their general place, especially when they are not outside.
Yes, like when I say, I'm at home right now, it feels very normal.
Exactly. And another very common one is at work, which people use to talk about their working situation in a simple way.
Right, I often say, I'm at work, I'll call you later.
Perfect. And we also used at the station, which people say when they are waiting there or meeting someone there.
Yes, that one comes up a lot when traveling.
Another important one is at a meeting, which people often use when they talk about an event on their schedule.
Oh yes, that sounds very familiar, especially in messages.
And finally, we have at night, which people use when they talk about that part of the day in a general way.
Like, I feel tired at night, which sounds very natural.
Exactly. And when you hear these phrases many times, they start to feel easy and comfortable in your own speech. Now it's time to practice together, so please listen carefully and then repeat after us. And don't worry about being perfect, just speak along with us.
Yes, just relax and try it with us.
Let's start with a short sentence. Please repeat after me. I'm at home right now.
Good, now try this one. I'm in the kitchen.
Nice. Let's make it a little longer now. I'm at home, and I'm in the kitchen.
Great, now let's try a work example. I'm at work today.
And now add more information. I'm at work, and I'm in the office.
Very good, now let's try one with time. I work in the morning.
And another one. I feel tired at night.
Nice, now let's try something a bit longer. I'm in the city, and I'm at a cafe with friends.
Great job. Now let's practice a short mini dialogue together, so listen first and then repeat each part.
Where are you right now?
I'm at work, but I'm in a meeting.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Very nice. And let's try one more short dialogue.
Are you at home tonight?
Yes, I'm at home, in my room, and I'm relaxing.
That was great, and if it felt a little slow or difficult, that's completely okay.
Yes. The more you repeat these kinds of sentences, the more natural they will feel when you speak. So today we talked together about using in and at in everyday English, and we practiced talking about home, work, the city, events, time, and daily routines using very natural spoken sentences.
Yes, and now you can talk about where you are, where you were, and what you're doing in simple English, in a way that sounds clear and natural in real conversations.
For our question of the day, we'd love to hear from you, so here it is. Where are you right now, and what are you doing, for example? You could say, I'm at home, and I'm in my room studying.
Please write 1 or 2 simple sentences in the comments, because we really enjoy reading your answers and practicing together with you.
Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us and practicing your English step by step.
We hope you feel more confident now when you use in and at in your daily life.
See you next time, and bye for now.